All right.
As a result of a war in an alien planet, a super battle suit is discharged into space, changing the life of one hapless duck and transforming him into a hero called Wonderduck.
What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the House of Craze tonight, we have Michael J. Tanner. He is the writer of Battle Grapple, Rebel. It's on Kickstarter right now. So we're going to talk to him next.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch. Oh, wait, George, where you go? The heck? Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man, bro. And I am with
George, the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of
Can't take you
Catch
anywhere.
the Craze. We are live tonight. It is Wednesday, April 27th, and we have a guest in the back ready to join us, Mr. Michael J. Tanner. His book is called Battle Grapple, Rebel. It's on Kickstarter right now. It's kicking butt. You have 12 days to go. He's already reached his goal, 78 backers. And we're going to be talking to him in just a little while. But if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel. Give us a like, comment below, hit the bell so that you know when we go live on these shows and you are ready to join the chat. Make sure that if you are in the chat, say hello. Let us know you're out there watching the show and, you know, doing your thing. But what's going on, Sammy? How you doing, my brother?
Sammy busy. Sammy
be
busy. Sammy busy. 2 words. Yeah, that's crazy. So, I got a spanking from my vet.
Spanking from your vet.
So I have a Papillon, and if you don't know what a Papillon, they look more like Gizmo from the Gremlins. They did a very adorable looking
Like a Fergie?
breed of dogs. So he had this. It looked like it was a spider bite. He had this wound on his back. It started off as a scab, and it started getting bigger and bigger. So I didn't know. I didn't know that you could put peroxide in a dog. I didn't know that. I was putting peroxide in the wound to clean the wound, and then I bought this antibiotic ointment to put on it, and then like it created like um it was like this big pocket of pus that I had to squeeze out the body. I was like, you know what? Then the wound, then he started losing hair in the spot. So I'm like, no, we got to take him to the vet. And so we took him to the vet, and I got a spanking. You're not supposed to put a peroxide in a dog. I said, if it's on humans, why wouldn't it work on a dog? I didn't know. But so they think it was a spider bite as well. So he's on pills and antibiotics. And I was asking why was he losing the hair there? So they ran some tests, and they gave him. He has thyroid as well, and so they gave him some medicine for that. And he has arthritis, and he's an old little guy, but he's living on love. I mean, they counted him out years ago, but that little boy, the way he looks at me, it melts my heart every day. And I'm like, you know what? He's surviving on love, and as long as he's willing to go the distance, I'm going to do what I can to take care of him and make sure he has a good life. But yeah, so
Well, how old is he?
Critter, huh?
How old is he?
He's like 15 now.
Oh wow, yeah, he's an older dude.
Yeah, he's
Veteran.
he wobbles when he walks. I mean, he still has his leg strength. You just can't, like, when I pick him up, you can't put him down hard. You have to put him down softly. He loves when I'm yeah, I have spiders, I have everything. What's up, Aurelius? I got yo. So Aurelius, maybe you know because you're from Texas. There are these bugs. There are these bugs, these big red bugs that look like flying beetles. The All I see is when they kamikaze down and they basically bounce off my body and they hit the ground to die. They just come out of nowhere and then swoom, pop. You know, it's always at night. It's never during the day. It's at night. It's almost as if they're like they go, there he is. There's a soft landing. They bounce right off my and then when you walk outside, I got like a dozen of them in my yard just on their backs. Like, I don't understand the process. I'm gonna take a photo of it. I'm gonna go research these suckers because all they're doing is flying to die. And they always land on their backs. And I'm like, I don't get it. But anyway, yeah, the insects in Texas are off the charts. You know,
Some
I'd rather deal with the Malcolm heads in the hood than all these crazy insects. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you, Doc.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But yeah, so that's what's been going on here.
Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds like fun, dude. Sounds like you're having a good time out there in Texas. Sounds like it was a good move. Texas move.
Yeah, Texas. Yeah. So now between the weather and the insects, it's and now the gecko. My dog's always chasing the gecko. They're all over the place. These geckos, they just. I was like, yo, why are you trying to come into that? You have a lake right down the block. Stay over there. How did you get all the way over here with your little legs? And my dogs are out there just on a hunt. And I'm like, would you stop? I said, they have feelings too. Leave him alone. He's probably going shopping for his family, and you're gonna go and end his life. Let him be. Just saying.
Well, they attack the geckos.
Yeah, they try to eat him.
What did Aurelius just say?
Jesus, I haven't seen that, but I know Texas there's some kind of beetle season in Texas.
Ooh, maybe that's
There's every season in Texas. You got tornado season. You got the thunder in Texas is like surround sound. It's almost like you're in the meta universe. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. The thunder here. In Jersey, you hear the thunder. You hear here it shakes the damn house. I'm like, this that thunder. That's like the gods are just angry. It's nuts. Nuts.
Man, yo, I'm trying to find a segue to talking about you going to Vegas, but it's kind of tough with these stories. But you are gonna escape. Here it goes. So you are gonna escape from Texas for a little bit in a
little bit.
Weeks.
Yes.
You're going to be going over to the desert, over to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yes.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But yeah, you're going to be out there in licensing, right?
Yeah, man, it's right around the corner. I just finally finalized all of the props, and all the marketing material and the booth design, all that stuff. I mean, this is an endeavor that you can only do once a decade. So everything is on its route here. Nice. I will have the pleasure of setting up the entire 10-foot by 10-foot booth, 3 walls. I have a corner booth, but I have 3 walls. Setting it all up myself. So I'll have 5 hours on Monday when I get there to set it up because Tuesday morning it's game time. So I'm going straight from the airport straight to the convention center, set up the booth, get everything ready, then head to the hotel, crash, and then my buddy arrives around midnight. So I have to, make sure I'm awake, and I'm like, there's no talking, go to sleep because we gotta get up early. And but yeah. So licensing expo, from what is the dates? I forgot my dates.
24th through the 26th.
Yeah, the 24th through the 26th. I'll be there, but I'll be there from the 23rd to the 28th. And so that's going on. I'm waiting on Dallas Fan Expo to let me know. They took my money in February, but they still haven't let me know if I'm done. So I can't promote the fact that I'm going to be there, even though they already took my money. It's like the mafia, bro.
So I wonder if they put it like on escrow and like they're going to return it once they decide that they don't.
It was deducted from the account. They snatched it up on day one. But I sent 7 emails, and each email we haven't made a decision yet. Really? It's like what, 8 weeks away?
But that's what I'm saying. Like if they decide that you're not going to be at the show, that I'm sure they're going to reimburse you. They're
going to have to, but I'm like, really, I was like, yo, come on, guys. But I'm waiting on that. I have a kids convention in August. and that I'm doing. That's about 20 minutes from where I
Yeah,
live.
but way before all of that, Sammy. Once you're done in Vegas, you come back and bam, the launch of Mr. Dude
There
D.
you go. Yes, Dudarius
Duty,
Uranius, the launch of There's
duty.
Nail in My Toilet issue number 2. This one's even funnier than the first, and so I'm excited about that. And so if you backed issue number 1, and you come back and back issue number 2, there's a special gift for you. If you're a physical backer, you're going to get this refrigerator magnet of Super Duty and the diabolical egomaniac Overlord Nemesis Poo Poo. So you'll get that for your refrigerator. And if you were a digital backer and you came back, you're going to get a screensaver for a wallpaper for your computer or phone. So there's something extra that you'll get just for coming back for
He's
issue
learning.
number 2.
You're learning. I like it.
And
I like it.
and if you back The Adventures of Wonderduck by George Medina, which launches next week, and you back There's Nail in My Toilet, you'll still get the magnet. So there's an incentive for those who never backed There's Nail in My Toilet to back both these campaigns because this one launches next week. Are you excited, George?
Yeah, buddy. Listen, I gotta get ready. Okay, so
What's up, Nita, in the house?
Nita, what up? So next week, May the 4th,
Big time.
we launch The Adventures of Wonderduck. Now, this is my first time doing this on my own, so it's been
All
a
by
a
myself.
learning curve. So launch party 8 p.m. next Wednesday. Make sure that you are subscribing to the channel. Make sure that you have that reminder bell ready to go so that you're in. If you are on Facebook, I have created an events page. I invited a whole bunch of people. They're probably like, what the hell is this guy doing? But
Yeah,
I sent
I was
the
going to
invite.
tag everybody, but I say I'll let George tag everybody.
No. Listen, if we're friends on Facebook, expect that kind of stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, that's what it is. You cannot get, and if you don't like it, then send me a message. Say, hey, dude, can you remove me? Cool, I'll remove you. No reason for any drama or any craziness. That's what Facebook is for. I know it's a community. If I tag you and you're not happy about the tag,
All
send
lies.
me. What are you talking about? If I tag you and you don't, no, seriously. If I tag you and you're not, you don't like the tag, send me a message. Hey, George, can you remove me? I got you, my man. No worries. I got you, my girl. No worries. It's all good. But anyway, I tagged a bunch of people. We're in this. So if you are coming, please just say that you're coming. Show up. We're gonna have a good time. It's gonna be one of these, live. Gonna blow it up. There you go, Nita. Thank you.
Funded in the first hour. That's my
Dude,
prediction.
listen, no expectations. Low expectations. No expectations.
You how you say he plays it. You see how he plays it off.
No, it's not playing it. That's how I live my life. Listen.
Yeah.
Expect nothing, get everything. That's my motto. Expect nothing, get everything. The only thing I expect is,
no
bad
beats
things.
no.
So check it out. So if you haven't done so yet, please sign up to the pre-launch page on of the campaign. It's in the show notes down there. So make sure that you sign up. Because if you do sign up, I'm going to send you this. It's a copy of a PDF of this print that will be going out to you for signing up. No, wait, hold on. Easy. Listen, you're rushing. Now wait, hold on. Oh my God, what is going on? Foreplay, Sam. Yeah. Foreplay.
You know what it is?
We got to get into it. You're like, come on.
That's it. I got 5 minutes.
Take it easy, mate. Take it easy. Hey, listen, I gave you your time. Yeah, I'm waiting for you to play the little trailer for Duty. I'm waiting for that. So that's coming up next. Anyway, if you pledge to the campaign.
There you go.
Here it comes. He loves this. If you pledge to the campaign, I will send you a printed copy. It's an 8x10. What do you have your finger on? What are you about to hit? You are the worst, dude. Anyway, I will send you a printed copy of this 8x10. Of this 8x10 print that you will get as part of your pledge or your package when I send it out to you. Now, listen, I'm going to be on a lot of shows next week. Not just next week, but for the month of May. And I say a lot. It's about 10 or 15. Big shout out to all of the podcasters who have said, yes, man, come through. We'll talk to you. Nita being one of them, Raging 2, the girls over there. Thank you so much for the love. I have a whole list that I will be posting on Instagram and on Facebook. I already have something on my website, so go to getyourmeds.com, check it out. But if you do go to the show, check out the show, subscribe to the show. I will be giving everyone this print if you pledge while I'm on the show live. If you pledge while I'm on the show live.
Damn!
This is a
That was fire.
this is by Mr. Hector Rodriguez. Rodriguez. He is on Instagram. Check him out. Rodriguez. He is dope, bro. Sean Chen colored it. Big shout out to him. Thank you so much for the love. So if you guys go on these shows, make sure you subscribe to the shows, though. Subscribe to the show. Go on the show. Watch me talk about the book. If you pledge while you're on the show, this is a stretch goal that I'm doing at 4Gs. I'm going to reach that goal right away. Hopefully I do. But you're going to get it even if the goal's not reached. So this is going to be for anybody who goes on those shows and shows love to the shows, goes on there, shows love to me. I show love right back. Yeah, dude. Gotta do it, man. Gotta do it. Listen, everybody, we're all on the same page. We're all trying to grow our channels. And if I'm coming on your show, I'm gonna be giving some stuff away so people can come on and subscribe and show love.
I'm going trick-or-treating at your place, bro.
Come on over, brother. Come on over. Listen, and one more thing.
Good candy.
One more thing. So we're going live next week for those again. And I can't stress enough how happy I am and how grateful I am for everybody who signed up early.
Word.
As a thank you for all those who signed up early, I'm gonna have my spinner. I'm gonna be spinning away. I'm gonna be giving T-shirts away. So
and he's gonna Wonderduck dance. And he's gonna Wonderduck dance.
You know what? We spoke about that earlier, Sam. You're the crazy man. You need to either come up with the choreography or do it yourself.
Come on, George.
You're the only one. You're the only one, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're the only one that can do this. All right,
George, man.
Anyway,
we gotta put pressure. If he gets funded in the first hour, he has to do the dance.
My time is up. What you got?
What you got? I got something for you, man.
I got something.
Yeah. So what I got is we're gonna bring our guest in right after a little word from Mr. Dudarius Uradius. Be there. What's up, Mike Tanner? Welcome to Guest.
He is.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
Hey, thank you for coming on, Mike. Appreciate you. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good.
Awesome. Where are you? Where are you located?
I am in the beautiful, rainy everyday area of the Pacific Northwest, just north of Seattle.
Oh, okay. Seattle's beautiful, though. We've been out there.
It's beautiful now.
Yeah, we went out. What was it? The Emerald
City Comic Con.
Emerald City, yeah.
Yeah, that was
one of my favorite conventions. I just moved back up here after 18 years in Los Angeles.
Oh wow!
So now I'm back, kind of home. Like I only lived here for a few years, and then moved down there, and now I'm back, and it doesn't really feel like I returned home. I just moved to a place I did not remember how rainy and how like damp. Everything is damp all the time.
Yeah, you're coming from sunny California. So like this, it's got to be quite a shock.
Rain was an event down there.
Yes.
Here, it's literally like it just rains. It just rains all the time.
Oh man,
that's awesome.
So Mike, you have this book on Kickstarter right now, Battle Grapple Rebel. I appreciate you sending us just the first issue there. I read it. Dude, it's really, there's layers to this thing, right?
It's good, right?
It's really good, bro. It's really good. And I'm not just saying that because you're on the show and I have to say that. I'm saying it because it really is a good book, dude. Like, so first off, I got to ask you, wrestling fan, big time?
Yeah, I come in and out of it a lot. Like as a kid, I was like a ridiculous WWF fan, like a lot of kids. Like Macho Man was my favorite wrestler.
You were a fan when it was WWF.
I still call it WWF. I don't care about that lawsuit with the Panda Company. I don't care. It's WWF. So that like I was in it as a kid, then I fell out of it, and then my friends, like first year of college, like some friends of mine were like, "You got to start watching WCW." there's this thing, the NWO, Hulk Hogan turned into a bad guy. You got to watch it. And that got me back in for a long time. And then I kind of fell out of it in the early 2000s. And then I came back to it for a little while, then out of it, and then back. And now I'm more like interested in indie wrestling than the big companies. But lifelong wrestling fan.
It's amazing how the indie circuit is coming up the way it is. Like you hear more and more about it. Like, and they're saying some of those matches are even better than some of the,
man,
right?
I guess it was like 3 years ago. I got to see the finals for Battle Los Angeles, which is like the big 3-day tournament. It's like the top indie guys from around the country all come for a 3-day tournament by Guerrilla Pro Wrestling. I saw the finals and like all of those matches, even like they had some comedy matches in there too. Yeah. All those matches were fantastic. It was a great night of wrestling.
Yeah. No, and I ask you that question because a lot of the terminology and the way you wrote the book, you can tell that this is somebody that it's not just a casual. He knows his stuff when it comes to some of the wrestling, the moves, are you going over like some of the term? I'm like, wait, okay. And you learn some of that stuff. Now, what led you to create this book? What was it about, wrestling? Because it also has other things, and I'll ask about that. But what was it about the wrestling aspect of it that made you want to write this book?
I was hanging out with a friend of mine getting lunch. He had like just moved to LA and we were hanging out for the first time. And he had trained as a pro wrestler a few years before. And so he went to wrestling school, like he had done some stuff, and he, like one of his first matches, he got like his front teeth knocked out. And he was like, I can't do this. I don't want to do this, but he still like loved it. And so we we're kind of chatting, and he's also like a huge like Star Wars fan. And so that got us on like, what would like pro wrestling be like in the Star Wars universe? Like what would like pro wrestling, not like gladiatorial, actually trying to kill each other things, because that we see all the time in genre fiction, but what actually pro wrestling, like this is a show, these are characters, like they're athletes but they're still characters, and it's a performance. Like what would that be like in a Star Wars or a Star Trek setting where like there's aliens, they go to different planets, like what is that? And so that started the germ of the idea of like what would that be like, kind of explore. And it really wouldn't be that different, because pro wrestling as an art form is pretty unique. And some things like just them going to other planets or there being alien wrestlers, that's not really fundamentally going to change how the business works and how like the culture like reacts to it, because like pro wrestling has always been a reflection of pop culture, and it also like influences pop culture. Like it's influenced by and influences pop culture, and that I really wanted to explore that too.
No, well, job well done. I mean, I think the twists and turns within the story, I really, really enjoyed it, because I honestly, when I first I opened it up, I started reading it, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. And then the more I read it, I'm like, okay, damn, this is really good. I mean, you have the hero's journey, right? You have this young man who's battling with, and almost like it. How do I say this? As a writer or as an indie creator, right? We go through the same things that this character is going through.
Absolutely.
Your parents telling you, hey, when are you going to get a real job? Like, I got you a spot here. Are you ready to come through? You explored a lot of that. And I appreciate how you did it, because it really does work, Mike. Good job, man.
Thank you. I think it's like relatable. I think you don't need to know or necessarily even care about pro wrestling as a thing in order to like see something in that story. Like as a creative, like it's a everyman story.
Yeah, no, totally. Do you? I mean, obviously your friend who you went to lunch with, but do you know anybody like this kid? Do you know a person like Spin?
I really don't. It's funny. I know a lot of guys who are like, I'm like third degree of separation from a lot of like pro wrestling stuff, but I don't actually know any pro wrestlers. I don't know anyone who actually knows the business or works events or anything like that, but I know people who do, and those people have vouched for it, and I feel like that's pretty good. Sorry if you hear my dogs in the background. They have decided to wrestle at this moment, and it's great.
Hey, let's grapple. Let's do
totally. Yeah, they are battle grappling right now. Totally calm for the last like 3 hours, and now it's like, You want to wrestle? Oh, well, Papa's recording. Yep. So they're gonna wrestle for a while.
What breed do you have?
I got two. One is a probably a poodle terrier mix. They're both rescues, so who knows what they are.
Right, yeah.
Poodle terrier mix, and the other one is a terrier something weird. She's something weird because she has all 4 dew claws, which only like 4 or 5 breeds have all 4. Most of them only have the front 2.
Right.
But like, so she's mixed with some very rare breed, which makes it even weirder that she was like picked up off the street, like matted and skinny as hell.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, a man after your own heart, Sam.
Yeah, all mine are rescues. Every single one.
Yeah. Nice.
It's funny. They both just got their haircut yesterday, and Pigeon, she's the little one. When I got her from the shelter, they literally had to like shave her almost like bare because she was so matted when they got her. And so when I picked her up, like, so she had almost no hair and she was so skinny you could like feel her ribs.
Yeah.
And so she's really started to like chunk up a bit. And she's needed a haircut. We're both, my wife and I were both like, is she getting like a little fat? Like and my parents came to visit. My parents like saw her like a week after I got her.
Yeah.
And then they saw her just like, a few days ago when they came to visit, and they're like, yeah, she's really put on weight. But it turns out it was mostly hair. She got her haircut and it's like, oh, that was just like fluff.
There you go.
Because it was funny, like watching her go downstairs. She looked like she had a badonkadonk. Like she had a big old dog butt. Yes, it was like that. But it turns out that was just hair.
Oh, that's freaking hysterical. Oh my God, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So Mike, tell us a little bit about how you got into this writing gig, man. Where'd that come from?
Man, so like I always like wanted to be a writer, like loved comics, wanted to be a writer. And in college I actually had kind of moved over to like wanting to write for television. Mm-hmm. And that was like that was my dream. I wanted to write for television. And that's why I moved to Los Angeles.
Right.
And like very early on, so this is like 2005, 2006. I won't say that I would have had a great career or anything, but I had like the slightest bit of interest in me as a writer. And my writing partner, Greg Smith, like we met at college and we still continue to work together. We wrote a bunch of scripts together and we were semi-finalists in a bunch of like TV writing competitions. Yeah. And it felt like we were so ready and poised. And then the writer's strike happened, and the business shut down basically. And everyone we knew, like people we knew who we'd be like, hey, do you got any like writer's assistant's job open? Like, maybe throw my way. They all got out of the business, or they like any executives we knew moved beyond our capacity to like reach them. So it was all like, well, what do we do now? And I really kind of like shelved writing for a while. But then I was like, well, maybe I should try comics. And in shelving writing for a while, I got into roller derby. And I was a roller derby referee for the LA Derby Dolls for years. I did it for 8 years, but this happened a couple years into it. Oni Press announced the thing that they were doing a roller derby anthology book. So the gimmick was that it was all comic book stories about roller derby written by people in roller derby and then, assigned to an artist. I was like, well, I'm in roller derby. I can write a short. So I wrote like a short story for the anthology, and it got selected. And, oh my God, what are you guys doing?
Oh yeah, it's going down.
Hold on a moment. What is happening?
It's going down, baby.
Technical difficulty. Please stand by.
What's up, Johnny? We didn't even get a chance to say hello to you, my buddy. Thank you for coming on.
What's up, John?
You just in time for the big fight.
You two. Oh my God. Okay, come here. You're gonna be on camera.
Oh, it's awesome.
All right, buddy. Yes, you hate this. Okay. I tugboat. Say hi to everybody. Pigeon's like, I'm gonna kill you. Okay. All right, Tugs. I'm putting you down. Right, can you go in the other room? Jeez, you two. Right, this is Pigeon. This is the one that had the donk.
Hey, what's up, Pigeon? Oh, that's amazing.
So I got into this roller derby anthology, and it was like, oh, great! I've written a comic book story, and it got published. And then weirdly, the photographer for the roller derby league, in his day job, he worked in Hollywood. He was a reader, like a script reader, and like an executive assistant guy. So he like worked in Hollywood, and then one day he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm moving to Portland." I was like, "Oh, why are you moving to Portland?" He's like, "Oh, I got a job at Oni Press. I'm going to be an editor." I was like, "Oh, I did a story in one of the anthologies." He's like, "You're a writer?" I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." He's like, "I need pitches to take with me to be like, hey, these are cool things that I think would work. Do you have anything you want to pitch?" So like I had a bunch of like, honestly, like a lot of reworked TV scripts. I was like, this could be a comic book. Wow. And then one day, Charlie Chu was the editor, or the guy about to become an editor. I'm riding in the car with him, and my writing partner, Greg, sends me a text message, and it's just, Boy Scouts go on a camping trip. While they're gone, the zombie apocalypse happened. I read the text out loud. Charlie says, "That sounds awesome. Write that as a pitch." And this was like before zombie fatigue. So this was like before, like this, you had like Walking Dead, and that was kind of it.
Sure. Yeah.
And so pitched it, and that was the first like thing, got greenlit, and that was my first real job. And I will say, like, I'm incredibly lucky. Like that all comes from having an interesting hobby and meeting the right person at the right time. It's like they say, there's only 3 things you need. You need talent, dedication, and luck. And really you only need 2 of those things. And one of them always has to be luck. Like that's how I got this gig. That's how I started writing. And now like I did Junior Braves of the Apocalypse, which is the kids fighting zombie book. And then I got Orcs in Space, which is the sci-fi comedy. And then self-published stuff and like more anthology stuff. And now Battle Grapple Rebel, which I decided to do on Kickstarter.
No, that's awesome, man. And so, I mean, that sounds great. And you're absolutely right, dude. Like I have a conversation with my friends all the time about luck and being at the right place at the right time. And of course you need the talent, because, you know, they're going to look at your stuff. You have to be able to do this, but being at the right place at the right time. Sam's about to go, you know, to Vegas, and, you know, go out there and go to licensing. And it's like, all you need is just that one person that says, hey, you know, that looks good. Let's do it. So it's so important. And it's so important to have that mentality, right? Like to just, you know, just be positive about what's about to happen, because you never know. You never know.
Yeah, that's right. And nobody knows nothing, right? Like you just, people, because no one deserves this, right? So like no one's more entitled to a career in comics or anything artistic than anyone else, because it's literally a matter of taste. Like some people are going to like your stuff, some people aren't going to like your stuff. You just kind of hope to meet the right person who likes your stuff, and then, you know, gets you to a place where more people can be in a position to like your stuff. And that's how careers are built.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, that is fantastic. So talk about the series in general. Why did you decide to do Kickstarter? Is this your first crowdfunding campaign?
This is actually my second. My first one I did a couple years ago for just a one-shot called Strike Team Codename Diamond Force, which is my homage to like early 80s action exploitation movies. So it's like there's ninjas, it's like hyper violent, it's clearly like takes place in the Philippines because it's cheaper to shoot there, or cheaper to draw there, you know. And that was like, that funded, it was great, but it's a really hard comic to sell at conventions. Like it is. I have so many unsold copies of that book. So that was like my first one, and luckily did, you know, ultimately didn't cost me too much out of pocket. It just cost me a lot of garage space. And then like, sorry, so what was that? What was the first part of the question?
Why did you decide to do it on Kickstarter?
Oh, okay. So I initially pitched it to a couple of companies that will remain nameless, but they never, even though they told me to send them pitches, never responded. So that's okay. That's fine. And then I was like, you know what? I believe in this idea. I think it's gonna be really cool. But I also was self-aware enough to be like, I don't like running a Kickstarter is a lot of hassle. It's a lot. So I partnered with Overcast Comics, who does the series Starlight, which they've done on Kickstarter. And I'm like, okay, like, can if you're serious, I talked to Travis, like the guy who who is in charge is like, if you're serious about wanting to make it kind of like a boutique publisher, like you do Starlight and you do like maybe one other book, and then when Starlight finishes up, you finish up the other book, and then you bring in another book. So you're only doing a couple books at a time. Small little boutique publisher. Right. If you're serious about it, I will partner with you. Like, let's work something out. I just don't want to be the person who's in charge of and responsible for the Kickstarter.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So like Travis agreed. So that's where we are now. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm hoping this one also is like kind of a, we're funded, but really the goal is much more than, than the $2,000. Cause we want to make sure everyone's going to get paid what they deserve. And we want to like, kind of do more. Like the current like initiative is we're calling it the Get Color initiative, which is like if we get to 100 backers, that will for sure have put us in a position where we can pay a colorist to color the book so the book can come out in color. Because right now it's planned for black and white because that's cheaper. Like, but we want the book to come out in color.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the video, I mean, the video is actually, it's only 27 seconds long, so you could play it. But the voiceover, man, that really got me. It's really, really good.
Right. Hold on. I don't understand why you're coming on there.
I don't know. Really, really good.
Oh, that's why. Hold on.
Johnny had a nice quote there. Luck favors the well prepared, which I think is it's apropos to what we were talking about. Right?
All right, play this trailer.
Yeah.
Overcast Comics presents Michael Tanner's Battle Grapple Rebel. A galactic pro wrestler struggles to find his place between the ropes and the realities of galactic politics. Let's get ready to battle.
Nice.
That's a great ending with the dog barking.
Yeah. She's excited. Everyone should be excited.
She's ready to battle. She's ready to battle. I like how you can't say the word rumble after that. You got to say battle.
Yeah.
You got to say battle.
Yeah, he's Michael Buffer is very litigious.
So.
Oh yeah, he'll go after you.
He'll go after you. But I like the fact that you had that intergalactic, kind of like, politics in the book. What made you go that route? What made you inject that into the story?
I really like it's really hard to talk about too much without giving too much of the story away.
Gotcha.
But like, and there's seeds in this first issue that, the world is very recognizable while being like sci-fi. There's kind of robots peppered through like that are just part of daily life. There's very much kind of Blade Runner aesthetic that the artist Don Wen really like brought to life. And so we're like, okay, so people can see this as it's very kind of relatable contemporary setting, but it's in the far future. And, at the end, there's, a big spaceship, like the sci-fi is there. And then we're going to explore more like, well, what is humanity as a, an interplanetary confederation of worlds? Like, what's the government and how does that like play into what the like popular culture is? Like Battle Grapple is supposed to be the most popular program in the galaxy. So is it like, how much does the government influence that? How much like can it influence government? So it's the story is going to get like, and we kind of say it's pro wrestling in the Star Wars universe is that can kind of give you an idea of like, there's politics, there's maybe uprisings, there's civil strife going on, and what does that mean for a kid who just wants to be a wrestler? Like that's all he wants to do.
Yeah, and you know what, Mike? What I like about it is that it is very subtle. Like, yes, there is a sci-fi take to it, but I think for me, the story is about the characters, and that's what that's what really grabbed me is how well you're developing these characters. Spend the main guy. I feel for him. You know what I mean? Like I really want. Like I'm rooting for him at this point. I'm like, come on, man, you can do this kind of thing. You're talking about the robots. It's a little robot right there. He's the referee who counts the 1, 2, 3s in the ring and stuff like that. So it's peppered in there. It's not in your face, but it's in there. Even like some of the stuff that's happening in the world, there's obviously some strife because you see people, with picket signs in some scenes, but it's subtle. It's something that you gonna like. They're little Easter eggs throughout. but I did enjoy it, man. I did enjoy. How did you find your artist? Where did you hook up with?
I've known Don for a couple years now. Don is like, first of all, Don is one of the sweetest guys in the world. He's also like a really talented artist. He has a book called Pablo the Gorilla, which is about like a cyborg gorilla, albino gorilla, who's also a pizza delivery person. It's wild and crazy fun stuff. But like, yeah, Don and I have known each other for a while, and like, I think it was like he remembers it as being at Comic-Con in San Diego. I remember being WonderCon, but you know, we're old now at this point. Where I was just like, hey, I got this idea. I think you might be right for it. Let me know. And so I gave him the pitch. I was like, well, it's pro wrestling in the Star Wars universe, but it's like, there's more. And then I sent him the pitch and he's like, this is amazing. I really want to work on it. So he was easy. And then the inker and the letterer, who are the same guy, Dave Wheeler. Dave, I also met at San Diego Comic-Con, and he's great. Like, he's super talented, but he's the guy who's really keyed into the pro wrestling scene. Like, he knows like the AEW guys. Like, he designed the tights for Colt Cabana, if you know, like that pro wrestler, indie pro wrestler. Oh, wow. He's like in that world very much. And I guess he didn't say anything was wrong in it. So I'm guessing like I got most of it right. Yeah.
No, it's really, really, I'm telling you, it's really well done. I mean, if like you said, even if you're not a fan of wrestling, like this is a book that you can read and you can enjoy and you learn from some other stuff. These are some of the pages I was saying where you have like these little Easter eggs in the background there.
And you did a great job with the black and whites. So I mean, it stands out. It's strong. It's clean lines. So it looks just as good in black and white. I'm sure that it'll look even better in color, but it looks great in black and white.
Yeah.
Really good pacing too, Mike. Like that page that Sam just scrolled through when they're getting inside the ring, like it's really well paced. You're really like, okay, what's gonna happen now? How are they gonna pull this off, kind of thing. So, yeah, it's really, really good. I can't say enough about how much I enjoyed the read itself. And here you have some of the character design, that you guys did, right?
Yeah, I really like in my pitch document that I sent out for Dawn, like for the character descriptions, I had 2 pictures of like the 2 pro wrestlers that mostly influenced the character, and then left it up to Dawn to design what the character actually looked like. And so like Spin, like looks like he's a sweet young guy, and Stellar Debris, like that hair and like just his look. Stellar Debris is like the main like personal antagonist in the book. So he just has a perfect look, and like the character Coach Muna is meant to look a little bit like Captain Lou Albano. And even Dawn has never seen it, but everyone says he looks kind of like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and now I can't not see it. But Dawn's like, I've never watched that show. I don't know that character. I'm like,
right.
He looks a lot like Carl.
But even like you're talking about all these characters, and it's like even their journey throughout the story is interesting, because you wonder, what's going to happen. And even I can't remember the guy that his coach or his mentor,
Coach Muna.
Coach Muna, like he is such a written character. Like you can tell this guy really has a connection with Spin, and he's got his best interest at heart. Now, whether that changes or not, that's to be seen. But right now, it looks like they have a really, really good connection. So like, and so in writing, Mike, when you're developing these characters, where did some of that not inspiration, but where did you learn about character development? Were there books that maybe if there's a young writer watching that you took from, or where did that come from, that character development and writing your story that way, the pacing, those kind of things?
I really do think people learn a lot more from just watching as much as you can. Like watch movies, but watch movies, watch TV shows, but watch different kinds of TV shows, watch different kinds of movies. Like like I love Marvel movies. Don't get me wrong. Those are the only movies I bother to see in the theater anymore. Right. But like, you want to learn about character development, you can watch Marvel movies because they do character development, but watch foreign movies, or watch TV shows, watch Korean dramas, like, and just take in as much like different kind of storytelling, and it'll maybe what it really is just putting more tools in your toolbox that you could just pull out, but really you're just ripping off from other things you watch. But as long as you're ripping off from a bunch of different things and no one ever catches on what everything is from, it's going to seem original. So I'm a big fan of like taking in as much media as you can, and like in books, like read different kinds of books, read different kinds of comics. I'm always like, and this is great because this is an indie show, I'm in a lot of like kind of comic book Facebook groups that are not for creators, but are for comic book fans. And it is very rare that anyone ever talks about an indie comic. Like, or really talks about anything that's not the big two or an Image book. Like even like Boom Studios or Oni Press, or like like third tier comic publishers. Like it's really rare for any of these people to talk about these comics. And so like every week people like post like what they're picking up at the store, and it's always like I'm picking up the latest Avengers, or I'm the new Batman, or I'm going back and I'm reading a classic. I'm reading a Punisher graphic novel from 2010. It's like
classic.
Guys, there's so much more out there to expose yourself to, and just like learn like little if you're a creator, learn like tips and tricks from other people. Like, I really like how this storyline built. Like I don't need to rip it off, but I can see like, okay, how did they do this? How did they do this misdirect? How did they do that twist, and why it worked? And then that can get you thinking about how like, if I was going to do that, this is what I should do.
And I got to tell you, Mike, like in reading your book, that's exactly what I got from it, right? Like perfect term, the misdirects. The things that you think it's going one way, and boom, you hit the audience with something else. And I think that's something that obviously, and that's why I asked you the question, because it sounds like this is a person who has either read a lot, like you were talking about, watched a lot, or wrote a lot, and to understand those kind of things, because that comes with practice. It's very rare that you see somebody can just do it right off the bat. I think you have to write and develop before you can do some of those things. And that's why I enjoyed the book. And that's why, and anybody watching, if you guys want to take a chance on a book, this is a good book. This is a very good book to take a chance on that. And so let me ask you this, as far as the story itself, how far are you going to take it? Is this going to be like an ongoing series? Are you doing, do you have a
this story, Spin story, is planned for 6 issues. And it is and I know the beginning, the middle, and the end. I know the last panel of the last page of this book. Like I know what is going to happen. But the idea is building the Battle Grapple universe. That's why this book is Battle Grapple Rebel. Is if this hits and people like it and people like this world, like the next book would be Battle Grapple something else and follow a different character or follow a different element of this world. So that's the plan. Is we at the least we'll do the 6 issues and tell Spin's complete story, and then see where we go from there.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a plan. That sounds like a real plan. Now, are you going to be doing them each issue on Kickstarter? Is that the plan for now?
That's the plan. And I think issue 2 will probably be up in the fall. If we kind of stay on track, and also if Don's schedule, because Don is literally working on like 4 books right now. So it's if he kind of gets an open period in his schedule that he can start working on it. But yeah, so we figure kind of like best case scenario, or like baseline 2 Kickstarters a year until it's done. So this is the next 3 years of my life. If like things really start clicking, then maybe three Kickstarters a year. To kind of how Don and Dave are able to complete the books, distribution, and like there's a paper shortage going on right now, and hopefully we're kind of at the end of that. So like that can also affect fulfillment, and there are Kickstarter has rules about like when you can start a new Kickstarter, like until one's been completed. So yeah, that's the idea. But I wouldn't say like if someone, if a larger publisher wanted to like take it over, like we could discuss that and see where we go from there.
Sure, you gotta keep your options open.
Yeah, so we're at the point where we're going to give you the helm, and we're going to put the screen on you, and you deliver your elevator pitch. Why back this campaign, and how can people find you? So here you go.
All right, everybody. Okay, baseline pitch. If we were in San Diego at the Bayfront Hilton, and I had like 10 seconds in an elevator, I'd be like, hey, you like pro wrestling? You like Star Wars? Ever wonder what pro wrestling would be like in the Star Wars universe? That's what Battle Grapple Rebel is. Baseline. You'd get out of the elevator and you'd think about it and you'd be like, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty awesome. I'm gonna back that book on Kickstarter. I'm gonna go to Kickstarter and I'm gonna go in the search bar and I'm gonna type Battle Grapple Rebel and I'm gonna go to that page and I'm gonna look at all the different tiers, and there are some amazing tiers. The top tier, you can get an action figure of yourself. I'm gonna back it because this sounds amazing. And then if you're like, I want to ask that guy a few more questions, and you find me getting out of the elevator on another floor because you took the stairs and you rushed and you caught me. You're like, tell me more about Battle Grapple Rebel. I'd say, all right, okay, so like it's pro wrestling, Star Wars, but also beyond that, you're like, it's a underdog story of a guy just trying to live his dream, and the wider world is working against him, but he wants to stay true to himself and he wants to live his dreams. And that's a relatable story, right? And you'd be like, yeah, that is a relatable story. I'm going to go to Kickstarter.com and type in Battle Grapple Rebel. I'm going to go there and you're going to back it because that's the best thing you can do. Because this book, as you've heard testimony on this very program that it's a very good book. And this first issue is just set up, man. The big payoffs are coming fast and furious in issues 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 will blow your mind. That's why you should back Battle Grapple Rebel, because you should get on this now so you can say in a couple of years, be like, oh, you know what? I was reading that book when it was a Kickstarter book, and now it's the most popular comic book in the universe. Get on it now. BattleGrappleRebel.com. You can follow me on Twitter at MikeIsErnie at Twitter. You know how Twitter works. You can also visit my website, buymichaeltanner.com. That's BYMichaelTanner.com, where you can visit my web store where you can BUY Michael Tanner comic books.
There you go. Outstanding.
That's probably one of the best pitches that we've had on this show.
Yeah.
Very, very good. You've done this before, Mike. That was excellent. That was excellent.
Yo. Again, thank you for being on the show, and congratulations on your campaign and being funded. And you got 12 days to go, and the sky's the limit. So again, you're always welcome back on the show.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It was fun talking to you, and again, good luck.
Thank you so much for having me on. This is a lot of fun.
Yes, and if George and I decide next year to do Seattle, we'll hit you up.
We're going.
Yeah, come on.
We gotta get together, man. We gotta share some rain together.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right, Mike. Take care.
Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
So there it is. The link is in the summary, guys. Head over to Kickstarter, Battle Grapple Rebel. Just try not to say that really fast. Yes, go over and check it out. Check out the tiers, pledge, give it a shot, and another fun episode.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, man, very good book. And like I said, I'm not just saying that because he's a guest on the show. I read the book. It's really, really good, man. It's really, really good. You were talking about, the line art, very well done. The color. If they get it color, that'd be great. If they don't, it's all right. Because it holds up. I mean, it's clear.
Come on. The highest grossing comics are manga comics, and they're black and white.
They're black and white, bro.
Right?
Black
you know what I'm saying? So, my wife and I had that conversation. She was looking at the Forbidden book. It's in black and white. She goes, well, how come you didn't do it in color? I said, because this is to pitch. I have the black and white. The color ones were still lettering it. I said, the color ones will go to the stores, but this is what I'm pitching with the black and white. I said, and then I had to show her the manga books and how they're in black and white. I said, if the inker's done their job, it'll stand tall just with that. And that book, Battle Grapple Rebel, stands tall. I mean, the inking work is done well, really well, and strong, and everything pops out. And you're not confused by anything. Because some manga books they do sometimes they do a lot of cross hatching, and so you're looking at it looks a little dirty. But this is very clean art and it pops.
Yeah, I mean the manga books, you got to read them the other way. So that alone gets me all the time. But it's beautiful artwork. I think if you have an artist who understands storytelling, and you're gonna have a good story, a good book. So definitely back it, check it out. It's a really good book. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. The story really grabs you. It moves. It's a very well written story. Big shout out to Mike. For the work he's put in. And listen, at $200, you can get your own action figure. You can go get your own grappler action figure.
Sam the Crazy Man Vera?
Sam the Imagine that wrestler. Oh my God, George the Dreamer
right?
Medina. What the heck would that look like?
I know,
Oh boy, sky's the limit. Don't make me pledge the 200, Sam. Stop
oh
it.
man, you got the cycle and the
Oh,
animal.
oh my
Oh
God, it
my
would be
god,
amazing. It would be amazing, dude. Be crazy.
lucha libre. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. But listen, make sure that you get on there, check it out. Grapple battle. What is it? I'm sorry.
Battle grapple rubble.
Battle grapple
Yes,
rebel.
say it three
Battle
times.
grapple.
Real fast.
Battle grapple.
Yeah.
Battle grapple rebel.
Well, hey,
Yes.
Grapple album.
Good
Yes,
book.
it's
Good
yeah,
book.
that's a tongue twister.
Yeah. And listen, Mike, that pitch, he gave you two scenarios. If I'm in the elevator, I got 10 seconds. This is what I'm gonna say. If you try to come back and say, hey man, tell me more, he got more to say. It's
Yes,
perfect. It's
yes.
perfect to
Say what
do
you
that.
need to say.
That's
Yes.
it.
And speaking of that, we do want to make a formal
Yes.
announcement. Yes. So we made a change to our structure. Going forward, as of June, Kickstarter campaigns will be pre-recorded. So if you want to be a guest on Cast the Craze, the show will be pre-recorded. So it's in your best interest to book it way in advance of the launch of your campaign. So that way, when we put it in the pipeline to air, it airs during your campaign. So if you have a book coming out in July and August, you need to be booking it now to get on the show, because it'll be pre-recorded and it will be airing on a Friday. We're not going to be doing the multiple lives during the week with Kickstarter campaigns. Now, there's a caveat to this. If you're really adamant that you want to go live and whatever, you can sponsor an episode, and the link will be there in Calendly on how you can sponsor an episode so that we can go live with your campaign. That's the only way we're going to do it. Going forward, is going to be every Fridays. So just letting everybody know. Again, if you're booking for the campaign, thank you, sir. If you're booking your campaign, book it in advance, at least 45 days in advance of you going live. We won't be going live with Kickstarters as of June. It'll be pre-recorded.
That's right. That's right. So make sure that if
Everybody
you do
just
have
left the club or something?
what happened?
Everybody just left the club. You got JD, you got Hero. What's up, fellas?
What up?
They just came out the club. They're like, yo, well, that's right. The Craze is going down on the block.
What's going on? Dog, I heard some music over there. Let me
I know.
jump on there. Let me
Make
go out there.
music with your mouth, biz.
Yo, Hack, real quick. Check it out, bro. Your stuff is fuego.
Yeah, that is beautifully done, bro.
Fuego, bro.
Beautifully done.
Fuego. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Came out
that is
really nice, man.
crazy.
Thank you so much
That is crazy.
for that. But yeah, dude. So just make sure that when you are hitting us up, hit us up with enough time so that
Yeah.
we can, record the show and still air it while your campaign is going live. So that's why we have that that there. And we just want to talk when we're talking live with some of these creators. We want to talk about their process. We want to talk about how they do what they do. Some tips that they may have, and sometimes we are not able to do that when we're also trying to push their kick, because we want to give shine to the Kickstarter as well. So it gets a little tough to do that. Not enough time to do that. So that's why we want to do the lives with the creators to talk about their process and stuff like that. And if they have something that they want to promote at that point, they can. But I think that live interaction, and then you guys as fans can ask questions. If you are an up and coming artist or writer or puppeteer or chef, whatever we have on the show, you can ask those questions at that time.
So we're gonna give more time to just spotlighting the creator rather than a campaign. Well, we'll still be doing campaigns. It just won't be live unless it's through a sponsorship. But yeah, so that's that. Again, starting June, the format changes. But don't forget, join us tomorrow morning.
That's
we'll
right.
be,
Damn.
yes, episode 11.
Woo.
Episode 11 of the Morning Brew with the Crazy Crew. So join us. Yes, tomorrow morning. Just book me every 45 days. Yeah, and I'm not booking you nothing. You book yourself. You got the link, all right? What the hell?
Every 45 days. I believe it. That is factual. That is
I know
true.
this guy has like 50 campaigns a year.
That is true. That is true.
So join us tomorrow in the Morning Brew with the Crazy Crew, 9 a.m. Bring your cup of coffee. We're going to be chatting about industry-related topics and a hot topic. And so it's going to be fun. And that's gonna be really dope.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good. So make sure you sign up to the show. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, do all of that fun stuff so that you're always in the know as far as like what we're doing and how we're doing it. And don't forget to sign up to There's an Alien in My Toilet don't forget that next week we're going to have the launch party at 8 p.m. And we're going to be launching Wonderduck live. And make sure you sign up for this in my toilet. I'm all screwed up. All screwed up. Things are popping up in the screen. I'm like, oh, wait. It's like those freaking beetles that are hitting you. They're just falling on their back.
I'm gonna get videos of those little
seriously, man.
Yes.
But yes, and make sure if you have it in you to support the creator that we just had on the show, Mike Tanner. Make sure you go to Kickstarter and pledge to his campaign, which ends in 15 days? I think it ends.
It ends in 12 days.
12 days. So you got some time.
Yeah.
So make sure you get in there and do your thing.
Do your thing, Jack Ching Bada Bing. Yeah. With that said, thank you everybody for joining us and supporting Catch the Craze. With that, I'm seeing the crazy man there.
George the Dreamer Medina.
And we are
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce.
Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
He described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.